Okay.
My name is Spencer Malthouse.
And I'm Mark Carew.
And I'm Bradley Doyle, and we are the TradeLab group from the University of Ottawa.
So the project we were working on was developing and drafting a investment chapter of a potential trade agreement between Canada and the UK following Brexit. And the beneficiary we were working for was the Centre for Trade Policy and Law. And what they do is they work with governments to develop trade strategy. And the work they do is highly informed by both the policy of the governments and also the international trade kind of legal environment. So our project was very much informed by that as well, and it was a policy and law-focused paper which we ultimately ended up producing, and ultimately that informed the draft provisions that we wrote for the investment chapter.
And that blend of policy and law is really what drove our project. So we were tasked with drafting a investment chapter in a potential post-Brexit Canada-UK free trade agreement. To start, we looked at the policy factors that would influence both of the parties, Canada and the UK, in negotiating this agreement. And so we looked at the context of Brexit as well as the party-specific objectives to draft provisions and make predictions on what would be included in that agreement. And that the scope of the project was really broad. It was all of international investment law, which is a unique experience. So it's looking at policy and investment law broadly.
And then in terms of the benefits this brought to our beneficiary, the Centre for Trade Policy and Law, they were able to take the framework that we built and they were able to bring that to their discussions with both Canadian and UK government officials. In fact, we as a group of students, we were able to present at both Global Affairs Canada and at the UK High Commission here in Ottawa. And those presentations were very well received and reflected very well on our beneficiary. The beneficiary also just benefited from having hundreds of hours of work from a dedicated team where we were able to kind of go back and forth with our beneficiary and see what areas needed to be fixed and what needed to be addressed. We also had an expert mentor that we were working under, so we were working under Professor Van Duzer at the University of Ottawa, and got a lot of feedback in order to make sure that the work we were doing was at sort of a professional caliber level of work. And then from the student's perspective, it was just a great opportunity to work on international trade law in a practical way. A lot of what you learn in law school is very focused on the law, whereas this was a great opportunity to really focus on policy and politics and how that can inform these types of decisions. So I would highly recommend TradeLab to students, to beneficiaries, and to universities thinking